Have you ever felt that little whisper? The one telling you there's maybe something more beyond your usual day-to-day?
That little nudge, yeah.
Exactly. That feeling that the path you're on, while comfortable, maybe isn't the only one. And that whisper, it often gets kind of drowned out by, well, familiarity, our comfort zone.
It does. It's a very common feeling.
So today we're doing a deep dive into how that very comfort might actually be holding you back.
And more importantly, how deliberately stepping outside it can, unlock a whole lot more excitement and growth.
That's the plan. We're going to unpack the psychology here. Why do we stick to what's comfortable?
Right. And look at why that might not always be the best thing for us. And then, crucially, get into some real practical ways you can push past that comfort zone.
Concrete steps. We've looked at a whole range of stuff, researched practical guides, even online discussions to pull out the key ideas for you.
Think of it as your guide to understanding how to make growth, more of a habit.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. What exactly is this comfort zone?
Well, it's more than just a saying, right? It's a psychological state.
Right.
It's that familiar place where you feel, at ease, where you feel like you've got things under control and anxiety and stress are pretty low.
Like always going to the same coffee shop even though there are tons nearby.
Yeah.
It just feels known, safe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are some good definitions out there. Judith Bardwick called it a behavioral state where a person operates in an anxiety-neutral position.
Anxiety neutral.
Okay. And Brené Brown, she talks about it as where uncertainty, scarcity, and vulnerability are minimized, where we feel we have enough love, food, talent, time, control.
So it's really tied to minimizing perceived risk and feeling like we have some control. That makes a lot of sense.
Definitely.
So if that's our starting point, that bubble of comfort, how do we actually move beyond it? Our sources talk about a clear sort of 4-stage process. First, obviously, you're in the comfort zone, secure, predictable.
Familiar territory.
But then if you try to step out, you hit the fear zone.
Yes. This is where that feeling of unease turns into actual fear or anxiety. You might start making excuses.
Oh, definitely.
Your self-confidence dips. Maybe friends or family kind of encourage you to just stick with what you know.
Yeah. Are you sure about that?
Exactly. Like maybe you want to try, say, public speaking, something you've always avoided. The fear zone is thinking, I'll mess up, people will judge me, I'm not good enough. All that negative self-talk.
That internal critic gets really loud there. So what's the antidote? How do you get through that fear?
Well, that brings us to the learning zone. This is where you actively start dealing with the new thing. You learn about it, you acquire new skills.
Okay.
So for the public speaking example, maybe you read some articles, watch some TED Talks, perhaps you even join a Toastmasters group just to observe first. You're gathering information, building skills.
Right. You're making the unknown, bit by bit, demystifying it.
Precisely. And that naturally reduces the perceived threat, which then allows you to move into the growth zone.
The application stage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You take what you've learned and you try it out. You give that speech, maybe just a short one at first. The goal here is to realize your strengths, maybe find new ones, and use them to get new outcomes.
So you actually do the thing.
Yeah.
And whether it goes perfectly or not, you've done it. You've learned, you've grown your skills just by taking the action.
That's it. You've expanded your boundaries. And this really highlights a key point. Why is discomfort so important for growth? Jeannie Rometty, the former IBM CEO, said it very bluntly. Growth and comfort never coexist.
Wow. That's powerful.
It is, isn't it? Growth is, by definition, about evolving, improving, reaching our potential. You simply can't do that staying put.
Yeah, growth happens when we step out of the comfort zone, embrace challenges, face uncertainty. That's where the real magic happens, as they say.
And it's not just motivational talk. There's research showing that new and diverse experiences actually link to more happiness.
Really? How does that work?
Well, one study tracked people's locations in New York and Miami. On days they visited more different places, spent time in varied locations, they actually reported feeling more positive emotions, happier, more excited, relaxed, attentive.
That's fascinating. Just moving around more.
It seems so.
Yeah.
And it's linked to brain activity. Greater correlation between the hippocampus that's involved in novelty and the striatum, which is linked to reward.
So even small changes, like a different route to the shops, could actually boost your mood and brain function.
The research suggests yes. Even little things like trying a new workout at home or walking a different block, it adds variability, novelty.
Okay, that's a strong case for stepping out. But what about the flip side? What happens if you just stay put in that comfort zone?
Well, there are definite downsides. While it feels safe and minimizes immediate risk, staying stagnant means you develop limited new skills. You might miss out on opportunities because you're not challenging yourself.
Right. Complacency can set in.
Exactly. And that can lead to feeling, a bit lackluster about life, unmotivated.
Yeah.
It's that classic no risk, no reward situation. If you never venture out, your world might actually start to feel smaller.
Okay, so we get the why. But the how often involves tackling the mental side, doesn't it? That fear of the unknown.
Absolutely. And this is really interesting. Studies suggest we actually fear an unknown outcome more than we fear a known bad one.
Get out. Really?
Yeah. Think about it. People stay in jobs they hate because the uncertainty of finding a new one feels scarier than the known misery.
Wow. That's revealing.
It is. And often this resistance comes down to a fundamental fear of being, unsafe, even if the threat is just social awkwardness or potential failure.
Right, not usually a physical danger.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Most of the stuff we worry about never actually happens. And maybe more importantly, we often can't even imagine the good things that might come from trying something new until we do it.
You don't know what you don't know, essentially. The potential upside is hidden.
Precisely.
So how do we start to shift that mindset? I read about a neat mental trick. When you feel nervous about something new, try telling yourself, I'm excited.
Yes, that's a fantastic technique. Because physiologically, nervousness and excitement are incredibly similar. They're both states of high arousal.
Increased heart rate, butterflies.
Right. Same physical feelings. But by consciously relabeling that feeling as excitement, you can actually change your experience and even your performance.
So you're basically hijacking the physical sensation with a different thought.
You got it. It connects directly to cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, the idea that thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are all linked. Change one and the others shift too.
Like that classic example. Hear a noise in the woods. Think bunny, feel happy, keep walking. Think bear, feel scared, run away.
Exactly. Same noise, different thought, totally different outcome. It's the power of reframing.
Which leads nicely into the idea of a growth mindset, doesn't it?
It really does. Coined by Carol Dweck.
Yeah.
It's the belief that your abilities, intelligence, talents aren't fixed. They can be developed through dedication, effort, learning.
As opposed to a fixed mindset where you think you're just born good or bad at something and that's it.
Right. Someone with a growth mindset thinks, okay, I can learn this. Or failure is just feedback, an opportunity to learn. The key phrase is often, I never say I can't.
Whereas someone with a fixed mindset might think, oh, I'm too old to learn that, or take constructive criticism really personally.
Exactly. They see it as a judgment on their fixed abilities.
And this ties into courage, too. I saw a great quote from an online discussion. Courage is simply being afraid and still doing it. It's not about not being scared.
That's such a crucial point. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting despite the fear. It's like a muscle. You have to practice using it.
So you don't need to wait until the fear goes away.
Not at all. Often the key is having strong enough reasons why you want to do the scary thing. Your why has to be bigger than your fear. You can still be terrified of public speaking, but do it because the message is important, or it's crucial for your career. It gets easier with practice, usually not because the fear vanishes, but because your ability to manage it grows.
Okay, this is all great context, but how do we make trying new things a regular thing, a habit? Because, starting is one thing, keeping it going is another.
Absolutely. And nobody goes from zero to hero overnight. James Clear's work really emphasizes this. Small, incremental changes are the key to sustainable growth.
Don't try to climb the whole mountain in one go.
Exactly. Take the first step. And our sources have some great practical strategies. One is the side road mentality.
Side road.
Yeah. Instead of jumping straight onto the busy, intimidating freeway of a new skill, take a slower, easier side road. Make it as easy as possible for yourself initially.
So for that pottery class example, maybe just visit the studio first or watch a free online tutorial.
Perfect. Lower the barrier to entry. Another great one is asking yourself, if I were just 1% more brave today, what would I do?
Oh, I like that. 1% brave. It feels doable.
It does. It could be trying a new food, taking a different route, speaking up briefly in a meeting. Small things count. They build momentum.
And break down bigger goals into tiny steps, right? Mini tasks.
Yes. Focus on small wins you can achieve each day. And the crucial bit is, do one uncomfortable thing today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Just start.
Start small, start now. Got it. What about sticking with something new? Sometimes you try something once and think, nope, not for me.
Yes. That's where the rule of 3 comes in handy. Commit to giving of something new at least 3 genuine tries before deciding.
3 tries. Why 3?
It gives you enough data. Think about tasting food. The first time might be weird, the second time, by the third time, you usually have a pretty good sense of whether you actually like it or not. Same for a new hobby or routine.
That makes sense. Don't write it off too quickly. Give it a fair shot. Now, you mentioned habits earlier. How can we leverage habits and maybe our environment to make trying new things easier?
Great question. Because so much of what we do is automatic, habitual. William James pointed this out over a century ago. Habits form through repetition in stable situations, and they can be hard to break.
They feel ingrained.
They do.
But there's something called the habit discontinuity effect. This means it's actually easier to change habits during big life changes, moving house, starting a new job, things like that.
Why is that?
Because the old cues that triggered your habits are disrupted. It creates a window of opportunity to build new ones. There is a cool example during a London tube strike. Some commuters were forced to find new routes, and a percentage actually stuck with those new, better routes even after the strike ended.
So disruption can actually be good for creating new habits.
It can be. But you don't have to wait for a life upheaval. You can consciously re-engineer your environment.
Make the desired behavior easier and the undesired one harder. Want to eat more fruit? Put a fruit bowl right on the counter where you'll see it. Want to scroll less on your phone? Leave it in another room for part of the evening.
Setting yourself up for success by changing your surroundings. Smart.
It leverages laziness in a good way.
Okay, let's talk specific ideas. Our sources had loads of ways to step outside the comfort zone, big and small.
Yeah, lots of inspiration. For engaging senses or changing routines, you could try listening to a completely different music genre. Or let someone else order for you a dinner, surrender control.
Ooh, that's a good one. Or just try a different type of coffee, watch a movie genre you'd normally skip. Simple stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For social skills, maybe offer a genuine, unsolicited compliment to someone. Research shows it boosts happiness for both people.
That's nice. Or maybe start a conversation with a stranger, perhaps by commenting on something interesting they have or are wearing.
Yeah, people often like talking about things they chose. Or just making eye contact and smiling as you walk through a crowd, spreading a little positivity.
What about bigger challenges? Physical or mental ones?
Well, you could finally try that yoga or dance class you've been thinking about. Or learn a few words of a new language each day. 5 words a day adds up.
Or start a creative project like writing, painting, maybe even improv comedy.
Improv is a great one for getting comfortable with spontaneity and thinking on your feet. Very much outside most people's comfort zones.
Definitely mine. What about more direct discomfort challenges?
Some people make uncomfortable lists, 10 or 20 small things that push their boundaries, and they try to do one each day.
Like what?
Could be anything from asking for directions when you know the way, to initiating small talk, to wearing something bolder than usual, or try the 5 a.m. challenge for just one day, see how it feels.
And then there's rejection therapy. That sounds intense.
It's about deliberately seeking small, harmless rejections, like asking for a discount you know you won't get, or asking someone for $100. The point isn't to get the thing, it's to get used to hearing no and realize it's usually not a big deal. Builds resilience.
Builds a thick skin, yeah. Okay. And spontaneity.
Could be fun. Try being a yes person for a day, agree to reasonable, safe requests, or release control completely. Pick a vacation spot totally at random.
Or just go to the cinema by yourself.
That's a great one too. Enjoying your own company. Lots of options, really.
It seems the key is just doing something different.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And don't underestimate the power of support. Having a discomfort partner, a friend or family member also committed to growth can make a huge difference.
Someone to keep you accountable, share experiences with.
Exactly. They can offer a different perspective, push you a bit when you need it.
And finding a wider community too, right? Like online groups or local meetups for your new hobby.
Yes, absolutely. Connecting with others on a similar path provides motivation, support, and reminds you you're not alone in feeling awkward or unsure sometimes.
Okay, so let's quickly wrap up the key takeaways from this deep dive.
Well, first, growth and comfort really don't mix. Stepping out is where the expansion happens.
Right, and it involves moving through that fear zone into learning and then finally into growth.
And courage isn't about not feeling fear, it's about acting anyway. Reframing nervousness as excitement can help, as can cultivating that growth mindset.
Believing you can learn and develop, and finally, making it a habit is possible.
Yeah, through small, consistent steps, that 1% bravery, changing your environment, and definitely leveraging support from others.
Start small, start today, and maybe find a buddy.
That's a pretty good summary. We really hope this encourages you to take that first step, whatever it looks like for you.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. What if the biggest adventure isn't somewhere out there? What if it's actually exploring the undiscovered parts of your own potential, just waiting beyond the edge of your comfort zone?
What new strengths, what unexpected joys might be waiting for you on the other side of trying something new?
Something to think about.
Indeed. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep diving deep.